All right, good afternoon, everyone. Could everyone please take your seat, and we'll get started with today's formal meeting of the Phoenix City Council. We have a quorum of the council present. We're going to begin our meeting today with an invocation. The invocation will be given by Rabbi Yossi Brisky from Young Israel of Phoenix. If you can, please rise for the invocation. Rabbi?
Our God and God of our fathers, we beseech you in your abundant mercy, bless the members of this distinguished body of government of the city of Phoenix. Bless the mayor and the honorable members of the city council and all the dedicated staff that support their work. Bless their tireless efforts on behalf of the citizens of our beautiful city. May the thoughts, words, and deeds that come forth from this body of government always lead to goodness, truth, and justice. May their toil be a labor of love, rooted in self-dedication and devotion. May they be endowed with patience and perseverance to face the challenges that come before them. And may they have the wisdom and leadership to enact policies and direction for the betterment of our city and for the common good of our community. May their families, their spouses, and their loving children be blessed and rewarded by you, God Almighty, for their sacrifice of precious time with their loved ones is great, and their support and love for their loved ones is what allows these dedicated individuals to serve. Our sages teach us that those who work for the betterment of the community are granted strength and inspiration from on high. May the Almighty thus grant them strength and crown their noble efforts with success. We pray also today in this Passover season for all those in our community who are struggling to make ends meet and who are searching for employment. We pray that these difficult days for our residents are short and that prosperity and economic growth are felt throughout our city, our state, and our country. Dear God, the facility in which we stand before you today is a facility of government, a government that has been built upon a foundation of goodness, a foundation of freedom, foundation of liberty, a foundation of justice for all. Indeed, this is a blessed land, and we pray for your continued watchful eye for its citizens, for its leaders, and for its armed forces who risk their lives daily to protect the ideals that you, dear God, have bestowed upon man. We pray that all who seek to advance the causes of peace, goodness, and godliness be endowed with the wisdom, strength, and courage to prevail in every way. I stand humbly before this body of government as a testimony to these ideals and as a testimony to the greatness of this land we live in, the United States of America. I conclude with the priestly blessings. May the Lord bless you and guard you. May the Lord make his countenance shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord turn his countenance toward you and grant you peace. Amen.
Would the city clerk please call the roll?
Councilman DeCiccio.
Here.
Councilman Gallego.
Here.
Councilman Gates.
Here.
Councilman Nowakowski. Councilwoman Pastor.
Here.
Councilman Waring.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Valenzuela.
Here.
Mayor Stanton.
Here. Would our interpreter, Ms. Judy Holm, please introduce yourself to the audience?
Buenas tardes, me llamo Judy, soy intérprete de español. Si alguien necesita el equipo, por favor venga conmigo o con el personal de la ciudad. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Would the city clerk please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinance number G6014 through G6016, S41512, S41536 through S41570, and resolutions number 21311 through 21314.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to previous meeting minutes. Councilman Gallego, did you have a chance to review the formal meeting minutes from November 19th, 2014?
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Councilman Gates, have you had a chance to review the formal meeting minutes, January 7, 2015?
I have. I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? passes unanimously. Do we have a motion on council members, boards, and commission nominations?
Motion to approve council members' boards and commissions nominations.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those pass unanimously. Do we have members of the public to be sworn in for boards and commissions today? You know if we have any? Looks like none. Okay. So can I have a suspension of the rules for the purpose of swearing in our newest municipal court judge?
Motion to suspend the rules and change the order of business to permit administering the oath of office for the Honorable Carrie Withy for a term to expire on July 12, 2017 as judge of the Phoenix Municipal Court.
So we have a motion to suspend the rules. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes. So now will be the time that we will swear in our brand-new Phoenix Municipal Court Judge, the Honorable Carrie Withy. That'll happen to my right, your left. After I swear in Judge Withy, she'll have the opportunity to come back and visit with the various council members to say thank you in advance for your service. So let's do the swearing in now. All right, congratulations, Judge Withy. Congratulations to your family. You are now a judge of the best-run court in the state of Arizona, the Phoenix Municipal Court. Thanks for your service in advance. May I now have a suspension of the rules so we can deal with local alternative expenditure limitations?
Motion to suspend the rules and change.
We don't have to just say second. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
We have a motion. Does he need to read the whole thing? He has to read the whole thing? Okay, I apologize.
A couple weeks ago, Vice Mayor Waring probably would have just went with it, but new sheriff in town here. Motion to suspend the rules and change the order of business to permit the holding of a public hearing and convening of a special meeting in connection with the local alternative expenditure limitation for fiscal years 2016-17 through 2019-20.
All right, we have a motion. That's official now. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is item number 3, which is a public hearing on the proposed local alternative expenditure limitation. This is the second public hearing regarding this expenditure limitation that is proposed for the August 25th, 2015 ballot. I will now open the public hearing. Is any member of the public here to give testimony on the local alternative expenditure limitation? Mr. City Clerk, do we have any cards on that item? Going once. Oh, Mr. Roy Miller, please come forward. The microphone to your right, or my right, your left. Up to 2 minutes. Good to see you.
I wasn't going to speak on this issue because I didn't know it was coming up, but I never pass up an opportunity to oppose a tax increase. So my opinion is that the spending limitations formulated by Senator Ray Rodas back in 1979 that I helped him with were well done, and we ought to live within them and not override them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miller. Any members of the public additionally would like to provide testimony on this item? Mr. Zuckerman, now's the time. Up to 2 minutes of testimony.
Richard Zuckerman. This morning they had a hearing with Laura Pastor about the ID, having this municipal ID. The bottom line is for illegal immigrants, and I don't want to help them. And there's enough costs involved.
All right, yeah, we got to stay on subject matter here. So the subject matter is the local alternative expenditure limitation, not the proposed municipal ID.
I don't want any increases of taxes, however it's caused by.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent testimony. Any other members of the public wish to provide testimony on this proposed item? Going once, going twice. The public hearing is now closed. Vice Mayor?
Motion to convene a special meeting of the City Council in accordance with Arizona Revised Statutes 41-563.01 for the purpose of considering the local alternative expenditure limitation.
Second.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Any cards on that item? Any comments from members of this City Council? Mayor? Councilman, please.
I'll be very quick. I'm going to be voting no on this. At the very least, what the City of Phoenix should do is move forward a baseline budget and then impose these spending limitations. Without this in place, without any fiscal controls in place, is what you're starting to see right now at the City of Phoenix. It's a lack of fiscal accountability, a lack of fiscal responsibility, and it doesn't set any limitations. We all have limitations on our own homes. Every one of us does. We all know what we can spend, we all know what we can't. Without any limitations in place, you're literally giving a blank check to City of Phoenix politicians, and I don't think that that's what the public wanted us to do. Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to be voting no.
Thank you very much. Now, this is, and I wanted to be clear, and I apologize if there was not clarification. The current motion is to convene the special meeting. The next vote will be to have the substantive vote on that item. I think Councilman DeCicio's comments dealt with the underlying item, or for both, either one. So, but the motion on the table is to convene the special meeting. So we have a motion on that item. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. It passes. So we are now recessing the formal meeting, and I call the order the special meeting of the City Council. And note for the record that all of the members of the City Council who are present at the formal meeting are still present for this special meeting. With that, we're going to move on to item number 5, and this is the underlying issue of the local expenditure limitation. Vice Mayor.
Motion to adopt a resolution relating to a local alternative expenditure limitation, providing for referral to the electors of the City of Phoenix of an alternative expenditure limitation proposition, with said proposition to be placed upon the ballot at the city election of August 25th, 2015, and with said alternative expenditure limitation to be the council-adopted budget of the City of Phoenix.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Noting Councilman DeCicio's comments, which I think also are appropriate for this item as well. Any other members of the council wish to provide comments? Are there any cards on this item? Roll call.
DeCicio.
No.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes on a 6-2 vote. I now adjourn this special meeting, and we will now reconvene our regular formal meeting of the Phoenix City Council. We're now on liquor license applications. Vice Mayor, do we have an omnibus motion on liquor license applications?
Motion to approve items 6 through 26.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. I have 3 cards. All appear to be in favor of at least individual proposed licenses. And so none of them wishing to speak, so I'll make sure that those names get submitted for the record. We have a motion in favor. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Those items pass unanimously. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Motion to approve item 27.
Second.
We have a motion in favor of 27. We have a second. I have a couple cards in favor, not wishing to speak. Dave Roderick and Dan Clockey Dave Roderick representing Downtown Phoenix Partnership, Mr. Clockey representing Downtown Phoenix, Inc. Does any member of this council have any comments on item number 27? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes on a 7-1 vote. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Motion to request authorization for the city manager or his designee to issue a request for proposal, including evaluation criteria, select development.
He's explaining the vote that just occurred, but that's appropriate for people watching at home.
Team and began negotiations for disposition on development of 7.4 acres of vacant and underdeveloped city-owned property located between 4th and 6th Avenues south of Fillmore.
And I know that's in District 7, and Councilman Akowski is really excited about this proposed project. So it was appropriate to go ahead and move forward today. Next item, Vice Mayor, G ordinances. You have to read the title, please. City Clerk, please read the title for G ordinances.
Item 28, ordinance G6014, an ordinance amending Chapter 28 of the Phoenix City Code by amending Section 28-39A4 pertaining to sewer user charges to sub-regional operating group member cities and providing for an effective date of July 1st, 2015.
All right, do we have a motion on item number 28?
Motion to approve item 28.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second on the Schrog user charge rates. Do we have any comments by members of this council?
I had a question.
Councilman
Thank
Waring.
you. This is not a rate increase for Phoenix citizens or anything of that nature, correct?
Mayor, Councilman Waring, our Chief Financial Officer Neil Young has been working on this multi-city arrangement.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Waring, this item does not increase City of Phoenix wastewater rates. It is built into all of our rate models, the impact of Schrog, and there is no rate increase tied to this item.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments or questions by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Let's see, ordinances and resolutions. Do we have an omnibus motion ready? All right, Vice Mayor.
Motion to approve items 29 through 69, holding out items 37, 52, 53, 67, 68, and 69.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
61?
Hold out 61 as well, please.
Okay. Amanda, hold out 61 as well.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments by members of this council or any cards on that item? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes.
You know, I don't think he held out, it's on here, but he didn't hold out, I don't think, 40 or 44.
No, that was not on the list.
I mean, it's on,
On the first part.
yeah, it's on here. Sorry.
Oh, I apologize.
It's all right.
Okay, what can we do? Can we, obviously, I think comments by Councilman Waring, should we?
Reconsider it.
Okay, which ones?
He needs to reconsider 40, 44,
Well, yeah, there's actually another one here that I,
37, 39.
I think he held out 37.
Yeah.
39 is not mine.
So the additional
I-
ones would be,
I got it here.
40,
okay, no problem.
44.
He's got it, yeah.
5,
And 52. I don't think I heard that one.
52 was held out.
52.
52 was held out.
60.
55.
Okay, so the items to reconsider would be items 39, 40, 44, 55.
All right, there was a motion to reconsider those items. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, reconsider is roll call or reconsider?
sorry.
Okay, so we have reconsidered those items, so we'll just take those items in their regular order. Thank you for your patience. And I know there was a special request that we take one item ahead of others, so we can, do we need a motion on that to suspend the rules?
53.
53?
Yeah.
Do we get can we get a motion to suspend the rule?
motion-
So we can get a motion on 53 to move that ahead of the
Motion
items
to
we hear.
suspend the rules and move item 53 out of order to be considered.
Second.
We have a motion to suspend the rules so we can hear 53 ahead. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. So next item on the agenda is item number 53. Item 53 is the proposed referral of funding for comprehensive transportation plans to the voters of Phoenix. This is an item, obviously, that we had a couple weeks ago in which we gave general authorization to move forward. Today is the day we're actually going to officially move, assuming we have the votes here today, we move this item to the ballot. Assistant City Manager Rick Neymark is here to provide, take any comments or questions that members of this council may have on this item. She was not able to be here last time, but our fearless leader of the Citizens Committee, former Secretary of Transportation, Mary Peters, thank you for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule to be here for this important vote of the City Council. And oh, by the way, yeah, Marty too. No, thank you, Marty, for your leadership on the committee and your ongoing leadership on these issues. And I do want to say, really, and other council members can add whatever they want, but really want to speak to Mary Peters. When I asked you to do this, despite your incredibly busy travel schedule around the country as a nationally recognized leader on transportation issues, you're a hometown person, and so you took this as an issue of personal passion for you, and you really did a great job leading our Citizens Committee. I know probably you or others are going to recognize those members, but I know many of the members of the committee are here, but your unique position as being one of the top recognized leaders in the country on transportation issues give you a unique perspective, understanding the importance of transportation, the importance of transportation investment, infrastructure investment, and the unique connection between those cities that make transportation investments and those that succeed economically. And that perspective, I think, really helped guide the discussion at those meetings. So I just want to say thank you for your service on our committee and your ongoing passion on behalf of transportation here and around the country. With that, Mr. Neymark, I guess you're going to kick off the item and explain what work has been done over the last few weeks. Then I wanted Mary Peters, who wasn't able to make the last meeting, have an opportunity to explain why she's so interested in this issue, particularly here in Phoenix. Mr. Neymark.
Great. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I will be brief. This item is referral of to the ballot of the transportation plan and funding mechanism. And on March 3rd, you all approved moving this forward on a 6-3 vote with some modifications to the recommendations of the committee. The item before you today is the ordinance that refers the plan and its funding to the voters through an amendment to the city code. And the details of the plan and the code amendment are in the backup city council report that was distributed to you last week. And unless you have any questions, staff will recommend approving the item, and I'll turn it over to Secretary Peters to make any comments that she would
Mayor,
wish to
members
make.
of the council, thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and I apologize that I wasn't able to be here at the last meeting. But I did just want to thank you all for the opportunity to bring together 34 very well qualified people, appointees of your own, to go through these issues over a period of time. 2 rounds of public input where we heard extensively from the public about this and grappled with a number of issues. But the bottom line is Transit 2000, because of 2 very deep recessions, is not building what it was contemplated to be building. So you, council, and mayor referred this issue to the committee. We met 13 times over a period of a number of months between August and January of this year and came forward with these recommendations. These recommendations are going to create an even more vibrant city, an opportunity for residents to be able to have transportation, mobility as I like to call it, to jobs, to education, to entertainment, to raise their family in a city that is just a booming city, and also to attract more business and industry to our city as well. As you said, Mayor, I was born at Old St. Joe's Hospital. I think that was the only hospital that delivered babies way back then, and grew up just a few blocks from the state capitol. So it was my great great pleasure to chair this committee and to work with you. And we believe that these are the right recommendations to take the city of Phoenix forward economically and a very good quality of life for the residents as well. And I'd also like to thank my co-chair, Marty Schultz, who's here with me today, as well as Maria Beyer. And I know there are a number, as you said, of members of the committee here today, but to thank them also for their participation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Schultz, thank you for, I'm glad you're here and doing well. And thank you for your leadership. I know you had a chance to make comments. Any additional comments that we should be thinking about here today before we vote on this important issue?
No detailed comments because you have it in front of you and it has been debated. But I would, from a business standpoint and a business development standpoint, and then looking at the demographics, including demographics that I fall into, seniors, specifically, putting together a comprehensive transportation plan, transit, that would move Phoenix, but would allow older people to also participate around the community is huge. And when you look at our demographics, this makes total sense. So I'm encouraged and would encourage the mayor and council to put this on the ballot and help us explain it to the community.
Thank you very much. I'll now turn to members of the council. I know we had a thorough debate on this last time. Any additional comments? Okay, I have a couple cards on this item. First card, Mr. Roy Miller, and then followed by Mr. Jack Lunsford.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. There's been a lot of testimony on this, so I'll be very brief. I was on the committee. I voted against the recommendation. A couple of reasons. We are having some severe fiscal issues in this city. Pensions is one of them. Public safety is another one that's very important. I think to be spending over $30 billion at this point in our fiscal history is extremely unwise. We already have the greatest amount of money ever budgeted by the city of Phoenix, but we're still not balanced. So I think this is unwise. I think this will not only be the largest tax increase in the history of Phoenix, but also the most wasteful, and that's particularly due to the extension of light rail, which at $161 million per mile is an extremely unwise expenditure, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miller. Mr. Jack Lunsford, good to see you again.
Thank you. Excuse me, Mayor and Council. Appreciate the opportunity to make a couple of comments. I was not able to be here last time. I won't take a lot of time, but for the record, I live in District 3, and I'm a native Phoenician, and I've been involved in every transportation issue in Maricopa County since 1985, when my father, Marty Schultz, was mentoring me. And I say that with all great respect. I want to thank the leadership of our committee, Mary Peters, Marty Schultz, and Maria Beyer. They did an absolutely outstanding job. Mayor and Council, I want to highlight one particular aspect of this process and clear up any misperceptions or misconceptions that I think have begun to emanate as the dialogue moves forward. I focus on an exercise that we held as a committee facilitated by the Morrison Institute, ASU, College of Public Affairs, etc. Almost every member of the 34-member committee was there. Our exercise, separate and apart from one another, there were 7 groups, maybe 8, that were asked to look at priorities. If we were going to move forward in this initiative, what should our priorities be? And we looked at everything from bus rapid transit to light rail to streets. Streets became an extremely important portion of it. What you see before you and what you've discussed already are the results of these groups working independently with one another and then reconciling those numbers to come up with the recommendation you had. I believe, Mayor and Council, that this was one of the best, most open processes that we've had in terms of developing priorities, notwithstanding my good friend Roy Miller, who was in my group, and we had spirited discussion. But the fact of the matter is that the recommendations that you have been vetted by council or by the members, and you have vetted them, and I strongly urge you to move this forward. Thank you all
Thank you
very
very
much.
much, Jack. Great to see you. Thanks for your service once again on this very important committee. Abraham James has submitted a card in favor, not wishing to speak. Mr. James, you want to keep it that way? You just want to submit a card for the record? Any additional individuals in the audience wish to speak on transportation? Mr. Zuckerman, the floor is yours, and then please fill out a card afterwards.
Richard Zuckerman, I believe budget should be the #1 priority. I don't know if we could afford this $30 billion. 6 months ago, Linda Pastor had a hearing about the budget shortfall and the problem of balancing the budget. I don't believe you've accomplished balancing the budget. It's costing too much. By the time Obama ends this administration, I expect the costs and the taxation is going to be high, and we're going to have a real problem.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Looks like he's looking at something. Any comments from members of the council? Councilman Gallego?
I wanted to echo the mayor's words in thanking Secretary Peters for your service. We are very lucky to have you, and throughout your service, you've really been an advocate for thinking long-term in transportation and planning ahead. We are blessed in this city to be very popular. People want to live in Phoenix, and we need to prepare for them to be able to move around our city. And so we thank you for helping us think long term. We really are planning ahead to continue to be the great city where people want to live and want to be able to travel around. And thank you to Marty Schultz as well, who has been a similar advocate for thinking big and long term and planning ahead. Great cities have to plan for the success we want to see, and we are doing this here today. It is so exciting, and we're really part of a region where people are forward-thinking. I had the pleasure of, earlier this week, being in Mesa as they dedicated new stations on a extension, the Central Mesa extension, coming in at $65 million per mile, and congratulations to them. It's really great to see our community coming together, and I look forward to supporting the motion.
Thank you very much. Mr. J. Mark, I don't know if you had any comments on that issue. Obviously, there's some various numbers bandying about. I want to make sure that we provide accurate information to both the council and, more importantly, the public.
Well, Councilwoman Gallego just did clarify the cost in Mesa was $65 a mile. Our cost is slightly higher due to some additional complexity of our particular line that we're working on. It's probably closer to the area of about 87 to 90 million per mile, but the number that Mr. Miller put out there was not the number that we're currently at in terms of light rail construction costs. I also just want to mention that the people keep talking about $30 billion. I want to remind people that the increase in sales tax is $8.2 billion. That's a very different number. So it's not a $30 billion tax increase.
Thank you very much. Councilman Williams?
Thank you, Mayor. I, too, want to thank Secretary Peters and Marty Schultz and all the members that served on the committee. You put in a lot of effort. I know you had a lot of public participation, and I think the vision that you come up with is one worthy for a great city. And I am very proud to support this. As everybody knows, can't wait to get the light rail to Metro Center across I-17. But it also really takes into consideration that so many of our young people, if we connect the college campuses, what a difference that makes, because they really want to use that system. And they are great, already proven a ridership on this. But it also, as Marty said, and I hate to admit, seniors also like to use this. The bus, having 15-minute intervals, something I've heard for years how important that is. But to me also, and especially for my district, the fact that you talked about streets and street improvements, reconstruction, repavement in neighborhoods, we had no hope that it was going to happen for another 60 years or 65 years. And we see that this brings back the value of our homes, enticing people who want to live out in the Northwest area, or actually I think it's pretty common throughout the city, because we compete with the other cities that surround us. And it is very important for us to have not only the homes that people want, but the amenities and the basics. And this is a basic need. I fully support what you've done. I think the cost is reasonable. I never believe in supporting anything that raises taxes unless there is a great value to it. And what I see the citizens getting in return for a minimal investment is of great value to them in many, many ways. So thank you for what you've done. I really appreciate it, and I will be supporting the motion.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Williams. Any additional members of the council? Councilwoman Pastor?
I'd just like to thank Secretary Peters and Marty Schultz and Maria Beyer, who is working right now. I'd like to thank you for your efforts and your leadership. It's very important. Transportation is very important, especially light rail. As in the District 4, on the core, that's where we see the light rail happening, and we also see the economic development. In addition to that, I also hear many seniors that are looking for housing along the light rail because they want to be able to jump onto transportation and move about within the city and be able to go to restaurants and be able to get back in a safe manner and way. So thank you so much for this and your efforts. Hopefully we will be able to expand our future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a card, additional card that came in. Jennifer Donaldson, you should provide testimony on this item. Good to see you. Thanks for coming down.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I would like to thank Mary Peters for coming here today. I've heard you speak at many occasions, and she is very knowledgeable and always inspirational when she comes to speak. I have many things to say, but I kind of want to focus on financial responsibility, and I think no one in here really likes taxes going up when you're concerned with how the money is going to be spent. But I understand Mary Peters has a very close relationship with Valley Metro. As I mentioned at the last meeting, I'm currently on the contract building the light rail extension in Phoenix. And the group you put together and the group in Valley Metro and the city that are running this work and managing this work really are paying attention to that. And you had mentioned it at the last meeting about alternate methods of delivery. So it's not the cutthroat world that it used to be, and there are ways to get better value for your money, whether it's P3 or CM at risk. There are alternate methods to get a better value and more for your money. So I understand the concern with raising taxes, but I'm totally for it, and I think with the group you have in control managing it, you're going to have that financial responsibility you all are looking for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for taking time to come down. Councilman Valenzuela, Vice Mayor.
Excuse me. Secretary Peters, thank you for all of the work and the mentorship and the leadership. And of course, Marty Schultz, we're so fortunate to have you in our city, and every member of our city staff. You know, Rick Neymark is there with you, but Maria Beyer and everyone else with the city of Phoenix, and every member who took the time to be on the overall committee. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of effort that was put forth. Our partners in Steve Banta, and of course, you know, Albert Santana, who's right behind you there, Marty, who's our light rail manager here, and is working, you know, closely with the constituency out in Phoenix, who's dealing with actually getting light rail up and going. For an example, on 19th Avenue, I'm really proud of that. We need more of that. And it may be a little unfair to talk about the price tag if that's all you're going to bring. If that's the only thing that's mentioned, it's a little bit unfair. This is an investment, and one, as far as I'm concerned, that we cannot afford to pass up. The first 20 miles of light rail has a price tag of about $1.4 billion, which which is in the cities of Mesa, Tempe, and of course Phoenix. $1.4 billion. We could talk about that big number all day long, and if we just leave it at that, well, I mean, I don't know, how much support do you think we're going to get? But if you talk about the return on an investment of nearly $8 billion already because of the transit-oriented development, new streets, new sidewalks, new opportunity, you know, now I think the conversation is a fair one. We can't say that we are all about transparency and then just give half the information. This is important for our community. It's important for our city. T2000 was a very good thing for all of us. We had some big wins because of it, things like the circulators and Sunday bus service, among other things. One of the differences between the two is this one also, this particular measure is going to be good for our streets. Currently, you know, you look at some of these dense areas, and I'll take District 5 for an example. These neighborhoods near Christown Mall and Metro Center and Alhambra and in Maryville, very dense areas, aging infrastructure. What's the plan there? You know, and about a third of this, of the monies collected here, will be going into that type of infrastructure. This is for those who want public transit, who need public transit. You know, there's a great deal of people who live in our city who rely on public transit. But I have to tell you, there's a lot of people in our city, that one day, you know, they just wish for that day where they can rely on public transit. There are a lot of people who don't want a vehicle, who'd love to be able to take a city bus or get on a bike, maybe a grid bike, because we have enough bike lanes, for an example, and there's just more options, which makes us this multimodal city. This moves us, continues to move us, because I think we're headed in this direction, but this continues to move us into this city of the future. And when you think of these types of opportunities and the possibilities, you know, I have to tell you, that's where I want to live. That's our city. That's a city of the future, and you start, you know, explaining that and what it means. There are going to be people who want to bring their businesses here. In fact, we know that. Many of us meet with CEOs and many people in the you know, just the business, the private sector, and the conversation comes up all the time when a company is going to or they're looking to relocate or expand or start to begin with. They're usually looking at a couple of things. One is education, and the other is infrastructure. And if we are a community that does not want to invest in one or both of those things, and I have to, what do you think? I mean, what are our chances here? You know, not just thinking about today, but what are our chances 20 years from now, 30 years from now? So these are the right moves. I am fully supportive of it. This moves us into the city of the future, and I'm just very excited about it.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Valenzuela. Any additional comments by members of the council? Councilman DeCiccio, please.
Well, of course, I'm going to have to say something about this. Nowhere in the presentation did we hear the word how much this whole tax and spend proposal is going to be. So since we're talking about full transparency, how much is it? How much is the total tab?
Okay, so Rick Naimark, I know you wanted to clarify one point earlier as well, so take the opportunity to do that, and then talk about the all-in, the various sources that would make up the plan, please.
So what you have before you is referring to the ballot, a 0.7 of a cent tax, which is a renewal of 0.4 and an addition of 0.3. The renewal of the 0.4 collects about $9.9 billion over 35 years. And this is what I wanted to correct, Mayor. I said $8.2 billion for the increase, but you all shrunk the tax last time we were here, and actually the number is $7.4 billion. So the total tax, local tax, is I got to add the pie, pieces of pie. How much is it? Thank you, 17.3 billion. So and the rest of it is other sources of money that the voters of Phoenix will get to leverage as a result of raising that 17.3 billion.
Can you just say the number of how big the number is? Just tell the public what it is.
Sure.
I feel like I'm prying it out.
No, so the reason why I said the numbers I said is because people are referring to a $30 billion tax increase. And let me tell you, $5.1 billion comes out of fares. The Federal Transit Administration, we expect, will provide $4 billion. That's a very conservative estimate with only a 30% match. Regional funds are expected to provide just under $3 billion. So there are a lot of other things that are not a local tax increase that contribute to the plan. The plan is roughly $30 billion. I don't know what the slightly reduced size is. Is that
What is the number? Does someone know?
31.7.
31.7. This there's multiple things that have come out. Okay, and I don't believe that we have a $2.3 billion rounding error. I mean, if we can't even give you a straight number, we have a problem. We've had multiple numbers. This report talks $30 billion. The report prior to that was $33 billion. Then it was $31.7 billion that was given to the newspaper. You can see where the confusion lies when the city of Phoenix can't even tell the public exactly what it is, and we've even had to go through this dialogue to try to figure it out. So what is the exact number that the taxpayers are going to be on the hook for, all in, because whether it comes from multiple sources doesn't matter. It's what the taxpayer is going to end up paying for this program.
The Phoenix local taxpayer will pay $17.3 billion.
No, the total all in. Just please give us the real number, the big number, the number.
Mayor,
All
Councilman
in.
DeCiccio, I think the issue is that the tax that the city is raising is what Mr.
I'm not
Newmark
asking
has said.
tax. I am talking about what is the cost of this program? What is it?
I think we've said that it's the $30 billion number.
31.
But that includes the fare box.
I get all
That includes
that.
federal grants.
Summit, the city manager
That
answered a couple of
includes
seats before yours.
countywide funds that are available now. So it's really important to be clear as we say it, what portion comes from the city and what portion comes from other sources, not all of which are tax funds.
I asked a very simple question. What is the cost?
And Mayor, Councilman DeCiccio, I also need to clarify that you talk about changing numbers. The numbers changed because the tax rate changed. So the committee recommended one tax rate. There were changes recommended by the council subcommittee. At the last council meeting, the council reduced the local tax amount. So that's why the numbers are changing. Nobody's changing them just for
The
fun.
report you issued today says $30 billion. Believe me, when we're talking about $1 billion, that's just not a rounding error. It either is or it isn't. This report today says it's $30 billion. The one that was released just a few weeks ago to the media was 31.7, and then the one before that was 33 billion. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly is the number as of today.
The number for the entire plan for 35 years is $31.7 billion.
Okay. That's what I needed to know. And Mayor, I'm going to be voting against this. To be clear, this is a tax and spend proposal. $31.7 billion. City staff testimony from, 3 weeks ago, literally said the cost of the new rail line, you just got to get, they were on record as saying this is about $160 million per mile. The question you've got to ask yourself, and you heard this in the testimony today from Ms. Peters, and thank you for your work on this, but when they say things like, well, we weren't able to keep up with what occurred last time. What they're saying is the promise last time was broken. So you need to ask yourself two simple questions here as taxpayers. The first question is, if they couldn't keep the promise from the last time, the last initiative, what makes you think that the politicians are going to keep the promise today? One. Number two, the city of Phoenix is only one of two cities in the entire valley that's facing a fiscal issue. We're going to be voting on a budget, which I will be voting against, just want to let you know. But part of that budget includes this pension cost where that's a debt. So the city of Phoenix is basically going to create a debt on a debt. which literally creates a situation where there's a lack of fiscal accountability. So one more question you need to ask yourself. If the city of Phoenix cannot manage the monies that they've got today on a much lower number, what makes you think that the city of Phoenix can manage a $31.7 billion new expenditure? It cannot. It cannot handle it. If it can't control what it's got today, it's not going to do that. So the bottom line is this, is the more money you take out of this economy, there's only a certain amount you can tax the public, whether it's for schools or for hospitals or whatever. Sooner or later, you tap the public too far. If you believe in education, and if you believe our schools need to be funded, and you believe that tax monies ought to go for that, you should be voting no on this proposal. It is a $31.7 billion tax and spend proposal where the rail line, for the future rail lines, there's $160 million per mile, 161. Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to be voting no.
Thank you very much. Any other comments by Councilman Waring and then others?
I just had a clarification.
Go ahead, please. Well, let's have the.
No, just a clarification. I just want to be, is this a choice between this initiative versus education, teachers? I mean, is this what we're talking about?
Mr. Mayor, at the risk of getting my hand slapped, head chopped off, but since Jack called me names and gave an indication that I'd been involved with all these major transportation campaigns, the results have been, we built the freeway system in my lifetime and Murray's lifetime, but she's much younger. We started with 13 miles, and even Councilman DeCiccio recognizes that, as do members. And we had recessions during those days as well. In this case, the recession occurred, but frankly, I give the political people and the staff a lot of credit for being agile enough to say, let's take a look at where we are and where we go forward. With regard to the taxes that will be raised, even though you issued some comments about fare box and other sources of revenue, it has been demonstrated, and I hope that I demonstrated in my comments, that while transportation is transportation, transportation is much more than that. It is the significant lifeblood, and I'm not talking about hyperbole, that generates enthusiasm and ultimately investment by individuals, whether it's capital funds from all over the world or some of our local folks who do a great job. Give you an example of the demographics in this community and the infill that is occurring, or more specifically, where do you see development? You see development along the light rail. You see the light rail, development along where you have bus rapid and buses. You see the development along freeways. Transportation is really an economic development program in that it does stimulate decision, because the investor, and I'm involved with these people all the time, and at some point it would be good, I think, to discuss, as we have heard tidbits of testimony from some, bring the big developers in town who have made decisions on Central Avenue, on 7th, all over the central city. Then, even though we're talking about Phoenix, let's go out to Mesa and look what the effect of that line has had. And frankly, the vision here is that this is going to knit this entire valley together over a period of time in a very positive way. We handled the Super Bowl, and I think it's fair to say, because there's a lot of experts that'll tell you, the Super Bowl in large measure was facilitated by the transportation system. Next year we have the champ game. Following year we have the Final Four. I'm willing to give you my predictions. And if Ray Anderson at ASU has his way in the future, we're going to have a major event, which you probably have never heard of before, called the Frozen Four, which is, it's college hockey, which we're going to have at Arizona State University. As a member of the executive, I'm on the executive committee of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The data that demonstrates how our transportation system, including, by the way, connection to the airport, the light rail connection to the airport and the airport itself, is generating huge economic benefits for A Phoenix, B this community. And my perspective over the last 40 years is we've built it, and they have come, and they continue to come. So what we're doing now in the Complete Streets program and in the great improvement of Bus Rapid throughout the community is a great service to the future. And while I might not see all of it, my grandkids who are still here are going to see it. And I trust there's a lot of people listening to this that want their grandkids and their kids to stay in town, because this is contemporary America. This is a great investment for our community. Councilman, you and I have been friends for a long time. We've discussed these things. And one last thing, with regard to educational funding, and you know I know a little bit about how that works. It's a totally separate deal, which is not the responsibility of the City of Phoenix per se, even though you do have some great programs integrating City of Phoenix resources with school districts. That is a responsibility of the 48 school districts in the Touch Phoenix and the state legislature and the federal government. So thanks for at least listening.
Can I respond to that, Mayor?
Of course, Councilman, please.
Yeah, when you talk about education dollars, all dollars compete with each other, whatever those priorities are. You only have a certain amount of pool before hardworking taxpayers say no more, no más. So if you believe in those individuals that believe that they want to have more money for education, this $31.7 billion expenditure, because the public needs to know that is the number. That's how much the city taxpayers or everybody's going to be paying out, whether it comes from all sources, it doesn't matter. Someone's paying for that. Those are dollars that are taken out of the economy. It's going to be harder for anybody else to get any other levels of priority through. That's the deal, Marty. It doesn't matter whether we're in it or not. We compete for dollars. It's a competitive model that's out there. So I appreciate it. We've been friends for a long time. We're just going to have to strongly disagree on this issue, Marty. And the bottom line is this. I just don't think that the City of Phoenix can even handle what they've got. What makes you think handling us or the City of Phoenix another approximate $1 billion a year, which is equivalent to our general fund every year for just a rail package and a transportation package? You're literally handing that much more money. When you even look at that, you could even double the amount of officers. You can double the amount of every service that we're currently providing right now. You could double. Is this transportation package worth that? And I don't believe that it is. Period. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmember DeCiccio. Any additional comments by members of this council? Councilman Waring, please.
So, Rick, if you need to finish. Thank you. So when we've discussed this a couple times offline. I think it also came up at the last meeting. So it was $8.2 billion in new taxation.
Now 7.4.
Now 7.3 because of the shrinkage. I understand.
Right.
I hope we can agree whether it's 30, 31, 8, or 7. It's a big tax increase. I mean, that's a lot of money. The whole state budget for a year is like $9 billion, I think, the budget they just passed. So it's a lot of money. Of the now so it was $8.2 billion? I think you told me it was a quarter. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was a quarter of it went to light rail. A quarter of the 8.2. And I don't remember if that was in a chart
That's right.
or if that was just...
Yeah, we had a chart on that.
I think, yeah, it seems like I saw it too. I guess my question is, does that same percentage hold true on the 7.3, or is the light rail portion a fixed amount, and so now is it a greater percentage of the increase in taxes?
So in the plan that is 31.7.
That's the new number.
Right. So 55. The percentage that is light rail. Maria, I'm going to ask you to come up and help me here because I apologize. I can't read. Okay. Could you go down there?
I'll look goofy. Sorry.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself first. Good to see you, Ms. Hyatt.
Mayor Stanton, members of the council, my name is Maria Hyatt. I am the City of Phoenix Public Transit Director. With the full amount, we have 28% of the tax would go towards light rail and high-capacity transit.
Okay, so has that gone up, because I remember 25, so has that changed somewhat?
Councilman, that also includes in all of the high-capacity transit, of which we included our bus rapid transit and the downtown circulator piece. So it is a combined number with the light rail miles, as well as those 75 miles for bus rapid transit and miles for a downtown circulation.
Thank you. It's a lot of money on light rail, which we talked about last time, my district, et cetera. But, okay, I appreciate you clarifying very much. Of the 31.7, because it seems like that's the number we've all agreed on now, after much to do. Of the 31.7, how much is tax money, whether federal or city or county, and how much is user fees? You talked about, and I would define user fees as you're paying to use the service, so if you're not paying to use the service. I'm just curious how much we're talking about in tax dollars, because obviously our constituents pay other governmental entities taxes, not just the city. Seems like that should be one that's readily apparent.
So, well, we're adding pieces. So hang on a second.
Jim, may I ask a quick question for you?
24.1, that includes taxes that we assume the FTA money comes from tax money, federal tax money, and then the regional money that's assumed also would come from some sort of a regional tax source.
If we just do even number, 24 million and 31 million, it's about 7 million is sort of user fees, if you will, somebody paying for the service. 24 million is tax dollars. Of those tax dollars, 7.3 billion are new tax dollars that people weren't being charged before. And of that 7.3, 28% of that, so whatever that is, probably 2 billion something, just short, goes to light rail. I honestly, I'm asking this just so I know what to tell citizens accurately about what we're doing here.
So we're, Mayor and Councilman Warren, we're happy to provide that information for you in the future. That 28% is 28% of the total plan.
Oh, the total plan.
So
I'm sorry, I thought it was a total.
We don't have it broken down by how much of this source, does this amount at hand.
I must have misinterpreted something you said before that, or obviously a lot of numbers, it's moving around. So it's 28% of the 31.7 goes to light rail. So how much is that? Some 8 million or 8 billion?
It's 8.9 billion.
Almost 9 billion. Okay, so 9 billion. People ask me 9 billion, because this is the thing that comes up. It's sort of a lightning rod. 9 billion goes to light rail of the 31 billion.
Inclusive, Mayor, Councilman, inclusive of what Maria said, the bus rapid transit, which is a significant amount of that. So,
because I think those are, honestly, in newspaper articles and so forth, those are numbers. At least they would matter to me if I was reading this, deciding whether to vote for the plans or talk about the plan, whatever. So I appreciate that. Thank you for that clarification.
All right, thank you very much. We don't yet have a motion on the floor, and I just want to make a couple comments and then ask to see if anybody does have a motion so we can get this going. There's been a lot of comments about some of the procedure, how we got here, also some of the substance of what's in the plan, what's not in the plan. But Mary, I want to particularly say thank you to you because you thought about this on a very comprehensive way and understanding your unique experience as a national leader on transportation issues, understanding that to really advance your city, you've got to think about transportation comprehensively. So I want to thank you because, for example, you made the interests of people in our disability community a priority in this plan. And by making sure that we had significant increase in dial-a-ride services for those that need mobility help, that was a high priority for you and the committee, and I want to say thank you for doing that. We'll be a better city, not just for people who happen to have disabilities, but their loved ones, their family members, because the unemployment rate among the disability community is unacceptably high in our city. This will go a long way to significantly increase mobility help for those with disabilities, seniors and others who may be not in a position to drive. That was a huge part of it. You wanted to make sure that the interests of all parts of the city were considered. Bus rapid transit is overwhelmingly popular in West Phoenix and in North Phoenix and in Ahwatukee foothills, and I know it was an important priority to make sure that all parts of the city got huge benefit from this plan. Bus rapid transit is going to be a big portion of it. I know the committee also made street improvements a high priority because of the fact that because of cutbacks at the state, we haven't been able to keep up with street improvements and maintenance the way we should. And a great city for both residences day to day, but also commerce that are utilizing our streets have to have great streets. And I know that was a significant priority in the plan. I want to thank you for including street improvements. And multimodal, bikeability. If we're going to compete for anybody who knows about the millennial generation, and we're trying to retain our best and brightest and attract the best and brightest, being a city that takes bikeability seriously, over 1,000 miles of bike lane, including dedicated bike lanes. You made sure that biking, which could have been in some cases an easy cut out of the plan, instead stayed in the plan because you understood that making our city a great biking city was going to help us significantly in terms of being a more attractive city for the millennials that we're trying to, again, retain and attract. And you know that a bus service doesn't work unless, especially on arterial streets during the rush hour, unless it comes every 15 minutes. No longer is going to be acceptable in Phoenix to stand in the hot sun for a half hour or long while you're waiting for a bus. That 15-minute bus service is going to be incredibly important for people like the family that I grew up in that needed a bus in order to pay the bills so you get to and from work. 15-minute service, as Councilman Williams mentioned, that's a real city. That's an advanced city. That's a city that's thinking about the people. And of course, light rail as well. Light rail has been a massive success, not only in terms of ridership, but in terms of the $7 billion of investment already along the light rail line. And you know what we love about light rail? The direct connection to education. 25% of the rides are students going to school, teachers going into their jobs, faculty at ASU, Phoenix Union High School District, and the use of public transportation to get those students to and from school. That's one and the same thing. There is no inch between the success of our public transportation system and getting those kids as much access at various times. And your decision to extend the bus, to recommend extending the bus to evening hours to match up with the light rail hours, I think was a very, very strategic one. And your recommendation that we connect Grand Canyon University and ASU West to think directly of education as you came up with the plan for it, I think was very, very strategic. So the fact that you thought about this in a comprehensive way, and this is a comprehensive plan, and one that I am excited about, and when the people of the Phoenix have the opportunity to vote for it, I think that just as they did in 2000, where they overwhelmingly supported Transit 2000, have seen huge benefits as a result. I can't wait to work with the private sector and come up with some very innovative financing plans so that we can get as many of these light rail lines under construction, and let's get some jobs created in this community. Let's get people moving. And that's what I'm excited about. And we picked the right person to be the leader of this committee because you brought the right national, international perspective, and being a local person, I just think your giving back was hugely important. So I just want to say thank you. Do we have a motion on the item, please?
Mayor, I move to approve the adoption of an ordinance referring the funding for the comprehensive transportation plans for Phoenix to the qualified voters of the city of Phoenix for their approval or rejection at the Phoenix general election on August 25th, 2015.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Quick question to that.
Of course,
motion.
Councilman, please.
Will this motion, or when the ballot language comes, because we saw what happened with the pension proposal, on the ballot language, you didn't really tell the entire truth, and that got manipulated. Will this ballot measure show the total cost, or is it going to be hidden somewhere from the public? Will it show the $31.7 billion in the ballot language so the public knows what they're voting on, yes or no?
Well, I believe that the final ballot language that would appear on the ballot, we're not voting on today. That'll be at a later time. The ballot language will be. So you'll have a full and fair opportunity to review that, Councilman, and make any recommendations that you think that we can improve the language. You'll have a full opportunity to do so.
I just want to make sure it's transparent to the entire public what they're getting and not manipulated. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
No.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes on a 5-3 vote. Thank you very much again, Ms. Peters and Marty and the entire committee who is here. Excellent work. We look forward to working with you between now and August. Thank you so much. Next item, Vice Mayor. Item 37, I believe, is the next item.
Yep. Stand by, Mayor.
This is a referral to the ballot of, proposed referral to the ballot of pension reform recommendations.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion on 37. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item number 37, which is the proposed referral to the ballot for pension reform recommendations. We have a few cards on that item. Jason Stokes, one of our employee leaders here at the city. Mr. Stokes, you're here? He's coming on down, followed by Louis Schmidt.
Mayor, members of the City Council, thank you. I'll be very brief. I just wanted to thank you for examining this, and I support staff's recommendation. Thank you.
Mr. Schmidt, you are next. It looks like you've had time donated to you, but you are not obligated to use all the time. Good to see you. Up to 6 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. For the record, my name is Luis Eduardo Schmidt. I am the president of AFSCME Local 2384. And here we are once again talking about pension reform. As we saw, as we have seen in the last couple of years, this council has taken some very some big leaps going forward about pension reform, and the voters have spoken. And this is some additional savings to the taxpayers that equal about $38 million, almost $39 million. We keep hearing pension cost, pension cost, pension cost. But if this council truly, truly cares about pension costs, which we keep hearing in the newspaper and in all the rhetoric, then this council needs to take the action and actually push the bill at the legislature. Sal, yesterday you commented about how great your week or your year has been at the legislature. If you really care about the Phoenix taxpayers, then all of you should be pushing the public safety. Public safety is trying to do the right thing with their pension system, and you guys need to take the right steps. So Sal, you can claim victory after you push that. You're real close to the governor, and so is Councilman Gates. So let's get this through. Let's get this pension item. Let's support the public safety who's taken the right steps for pension reform. Now, yesterday I heard Councilman DeCiccio say, lead by example. We have to lead by example. Well, you know what? I commend you for that, but you actually have to do it. We've reformed the employee system already, but the elected official system, you can't just write a letter to the state and say, do something about it. Be aggressive, do something positive, and actually go do something and reform your own pensions. Then you can actually say that you're leading by example. But until you do that, don't just sit here and give us the same rhetoric. But back to what we're here for today. We're here for this pension item. It is going to save the taxpayers money. It is also going to help the city with retaining and recruitment. We've seen there's no disrespect, Mr. Brown, but we have many acting people because we can't recruit. We're having a recruitment problem. We're having acting directors, acting city attorneys, acting this, acting that, and we can't have that. But this item that you vote on today is crucial. This is not about what your idea, whether or not you believe in the defined benefit or defined contribution system. This vote before you is simple today. Do you want to save the taxpayers more money? And if you do, then you'll vote yes. And if you don't, if you just want to go on and grandstand again, then you'll vote no. But that's not going to accomplish anything. The voters have already spoken. The voters have a chance to speak again on this ballot language, which will save the city money. So do the responsible thing. Don't keep throwing darts, just to throw darts. Do something positive. Approve this ballot language. And I know you had a question about whether or not you could take the deferred comp from being pensionable. But I've read the documents from the city, and that's going to cost more money. So I know nobody on the city council wants to cost the city more money. So Councilman DeCiccio also talked about, the taxpayers tapped out. Well, you know what? The taxpayers will get relief with this pension item, with this ballot language that you guys will send to the voters. So, Mayor, I'll stop there, but thank you for Councilman Vice Mayor Valenzuela for all your work on this, and all the members of the public who volunteered for this committee. And what we ask is, like I said, at the end of the day, we don't like additional, because this is taking additional from future employees. But we know that this is a step in the right direction. So therefore, we ask that you guys approve this item. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Louis Schmidt. Marshall Pimentel is next. Marshall, you still here? There you are. Followed by Leonard Clark.
Mayor, council, staff. We're here again talking about the pension reforms that are going to save the city taxpayers money. Again, it's another pat on the back to the city employees. Thank you for doing it again. We're here talking about, what we can do as employees and as taxpayers, what we could do to save the city money, and this is just another way to do it. So I commend staff. I commend the members that will vote on this, that voted on it last time, to say let's move forward with this. And I thank you for what we're going to do. So hopefully everybody will vote on this and get this passed, this measure passed, so that we can help out the folks that are being affected by this. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall, very much. Leonard Clark is next.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. My name is Leonard Clark, and I'm a resident of Phoenix, and I grudgingly think that this is something that needs to be done. It's painful for both sides, and I hope you'll vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on this issue? I have additional cards in favor, not wishing to speak. Barry McCain, in favor, not wishing to speak. Angie Hernandez, in favor, not wishing to speak. And in the many years we've worked together, this is the first. Frank Pacholi, not wishing to speak. All right. So we have a motion on the item. We have a second. Any comments by members of this council or questions of members of this council? Oh, do we need a motion?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Sorry, just to make it formal, motion to approve as corrected.
So the motion is as corrected. The seconder is okay with that? Councilman, please.
Thank you. Obviously, I've got to say something about this. And for those of you that are new in here, I have been pushing a fiscal reform agenda here at City Hall for several years now, and pension reform has been something that I've been trying to get through. There is a reason that the unions are supporting this. This is a union proposal. They like it because it's favorable to them. It does two things of why I think this is a problem for taxpayers and they should vote no on this. One, it continues the practice of pension spiking, which most people would think is a problem. And the other is that it puts the burden back on the taxpayer. That means the taxpayer is going to be responsible again for these pensions. The same model that created this mess at City Hall is the same model they're pushing again. So I would recommend that people vote no on this proposal. I'm not going to be supportive of it. It really doesn't do much of anything except give the benefits back to, against, it actually, it causes more of a problem and more of a burden for the taxpayer. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates. No. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. No. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes on a 5-3 vote of the City Council. Next item, Vice Mayor, I believe is 39. Is that correct? Do you have a motion on item 39?
Motion to approve.
Second.
So a motion to approve item number 39. We have a second. This is a proposed referral of charter amendment allowing electronic disbursements of funds. I think it's essentially allowing the city to enter the 20th century.
That's correct.
Councilman Gates, you have comments?
Yes. After a couple of controversial items, this actually came out of the core review that Milton Dohoney has led up. and I just want to thank Milton for his efforts. And these are the types of things that we have to do. But this is actually going to go to the voters in August because it's in our city charter. So it's one of the things to think about when we go into great detail in our city charter, that maybe years from now we may end up having to go back to the voters to change these things. So I'll be supportive of it. And again, thanks for the core review that led to unearthing this item.
Thank you very much.
Turn in my office telegraph. Oh, it just feels that way.
Other comments by members of the council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego. Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Item number 40.
Motion to approve item number 40.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are any cards in this item?
I just had a.
Councilman Waring, you had a comment or question?
Just, it involves the hotel. This isn't, maybe this is for the city manager, I don't know. But quick question. So it's not building a new hotel, it's not doing anything, it's not costing taxpayers any money, it's designed to save taxpayers money on our already existing project.
Mayor, Councilman Waring, you're correct. This is refinancing existing debt. It should produce a savings and actually cost less, although it is not directly to the taxpayers. Ultimately, it will cost the city of Phoenix less.
Thank you.
Mayor, may I add one more
Council,
thing?
please, of course.
Just to clarify as well, with the issuance of these bonds, not only will it save about approximately $14 million, but it's also going to tee up the hotel if we decide to sell it, and we think it's in the best interest of the taxpayer. Is that correct? I just want to make sure that's on the record as well.
I don't know what, sure, city manager, please.
Mayor, Councilman DeCiccio, yes, the restructuring of the debt does make the hotel cash flow better. So however the city might choose to dispose of it in the future, if that were the decision, it would be a more attractive asset.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item number 44, baseball park cleaning services. Do we have a motion on 44?
Motion to approve item 44.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so the item passes on a 7-1 vote. Item number 52 is next, which is the proposed Margaret T. Hance Park Master Plan Phase 2. Do we have a motion on item number 53?
I move.
Excuse me, 52, I apologize.
Motion to approve item 52.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have one card wishing to speak. Tim Sprague. It seemed like just a few weeks ago we were here the first time around. We're already in Phase 2. Good to see you. Up to 2 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor and members of the council, I'll be very brief. Last year about this time, 2,000 people came out to Hance Park to receive the master plan, conceptual plan. I don't think we've ever had 2,000 people show up for a park plan ever. It's time now to take step number 2, which is go to schematic design so we can get a firm estimate as to what we can do as a private and public partnership to rebuild Hance Park. That's what this does, and I ask for your support.
Thank you very much. Any comments or questions by members of this council? Council, do you have a question? Councilman Pastor, please.
One of my colleagues here today is unable to be here, and Councilman Nowakowski is very passionate about the Margaret Hance Park Master Plan and making sure that we have a regional park that's going to serve all of us. And so it's situated right off the light rail. It'll provide family activities, a concert performance, festivals, water features, and much more, and a rock climbing wall that I attempted and couldn't get there. So, but the good thing is that we're going into the next step in creating a world-class park, and so I'm very much supportive of this item.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments? I have a question for you, Tim. The rock wall, which is, we're very excited. I know Councilman Minkowski is excited that the rock wall is coming to Hance Park. How does that fit within the proposed master plan? You got to come back to the mic. I apologize. I should have asked you while you're there, and I missed it.
There are actually several potential locations of where it would fit. There's one that's been identified now, and we're working with the Parks and Rec Department as well as a couple of people to assist the park with assisting people up and down the wall. And Councilperson Pastor, we'd like to give you another chance if you'd like. But there is a place for that.
Okay, so it fits within the plan. I think the Leadership Committee is excited about the rock wall coming to Hans.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's great. Any other comments or questions, members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes. Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes on a 7-1 vote. Next item is item number 55. Councilman Gates, do you have a motion on item number 55, 32nd Street bike lanes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do you have comments?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and I want to thank my colleague, Councilman Waring. We've been working with the community over the past couple of years to work on the revitalization of the North 32nd Corridor. And this project, this item we're about to vote on, is a big piece of that. With the resurfacing of North 32nd and adding bike lanes, there's really been a desire in the community to get that added as an amenity. And actually, as a result of the work that's being done, we've got a lot of potential private development coming to the table now. So again, I want to thank my colleague, Councilman Waring, and all the great work of staff on this, and of course my Chief of Staff, Laura Etter, who's put a lot of time into this effort over the past few years. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. No cards from the public. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes. Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next item is item number 61. Councilman Gallego. 16th Plath and Violet Drive storm, 16th Plath and Violet Drive storm improvements.
So last August and September, we had a lot of flooding in District 8 and have been working very closely and meeting just about every week on projects related to this, but we are moving forward with one flood control program in partnership with Maricopa County, and I want to thank Supervisor Steve Gallardo for his partnership as well as Tom Manos on moving this forward. I hope we will have many more of these to come, and just wanted to let people know we are working very diligently so that we can have a safe monsoon season in Phoenix. With that, move approval.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Any additional comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes. Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item number 67, an IDA item. Do we have a motion on 67?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have many cards in favor of the item on 67. I'll take them in order. You have up to 2 minutes to speak. If someone who spoke before you has already made the point you're going to make, feel free to pass, and I'll make sure your card in favor or oppose is reflected for the record. Luani Sheldon, did you provide testimony on item number 67? Good to see you.
Councilmen and women. My name is Lonnie Jones Sheldon. I'm an attorney in Phoenix, and my kids actually attend Freedom Academy. They have since kindergarten, and I'm very thankful for that. They were actually put on a wait list when we first needed to get my son into kindergarten, and I was fortunate enough to have him get accepted and get into that school. It was just a blind draw. So the teachers there are amazing. The principal's great. They are really... It's almost indescribable. They actually learn each child's name so that the 8th grader knows the kindergarten's name, so that all the kids feel safe. The teachers are approachable. The principal's very approachable. It's really a wonderful place. They're approachable for both parents, the kids, and other family members. So this is an opportunity for the school to grow, an opportunity for more kids to be able to experience this type of education. It's really a wonderful school, and we would love to have it grow. My son right now is in 8th grade graduating. He's been there since kindergarten. My daughter is in 5th grade. Both have great experiences at the school, and I think they're very prepared to move on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for taking your time to come down. Steve Sheldon is next. Did you wish to provide testimony?
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, I would like to speak also on behalf of Freedom Academy, and not just because my wife asked me to come down and speak to you. I, as a retired Maricopa County Superior Court judge, developed a very strong belief in the importance of education for children and its ability to keep young children and juveniles out of the court system and eventually out of the prison system. I have had the wonderful opportunity over the last several years to get to know the staff, the principal, and the teachers at Freedom Academy, and developed a great love and respect for that school and its ability to nurture and create an environment where children want to participate, are accepted, and enjoy going to school and really, I think, grow and become very good students. I am the proud step-parent of Lonnie's 2 children who attend there. And I would just add, school could offer even a greater opportunity and more benefits to children in the community if you folks do approve item 67 and the granting of the IDA bonds for the Freedom Academy project, because it will allow Freedom Academy to create their own campus, expand the facilities, and invite even more children and families to participate in an extraordinarily excellent academic environment. So I urge you to approve item 67. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheldon. Leonard Clark, did you provide testimony? You're opposed to this item, followed by Linda Hoffman.
Thank you, Mayor and Councilmember. My name is Leonard Clark, and first of all, I just want to thank all of the families who do have children in charter schools, and I think it's wonderful. I really do think it's wonderful that individually that they've had success, and also the employees that come down, just like last week. But on a philosophical, there's different reasons. 2 reasons I'm against it. One of which, and they're not the only reasons, is on the philosophical grounds. One, to me, this is an exotic new type of thing we're doing in America because everything seems to be going towards privatization. You can say that parents can go complain to the state charter board. They can go complain about their children who have a disability if their child is not being accepted, but that doesn't seem to be the case. What they have is a board of directors, a corporate board of directors. Where up to this point in America, United States of America, we've had a traditional parentally elected school board. That's democracy. So we are just going to have to agree to disagree on this because on the one hand, you have this basic concept in America that yes, you have capitalism, but you also have another huge factor in our society, and that's called democracy. And so whenever we have something such as a public thing like our children's education, if I, like just right now, I can speak to you as a citizen, if this was a board of directors run by Microsoft, say all of a sudden you guys decided to really become corporate and I wanted to complain, I'd have to go to the board of directors. It would be a lot harder to do that. But secondly, I just wanted to refer you to some articles, a recent article in Phoenix New Times. It's called The New Segregation, School Choice in Arizona Takes on a Different Meaning If Your Kid Has a Disability. And it was May 14th of the year 2014 by Amy Silverman, relating how her daughter has Down syndrome. And she went on to state that it's not just a problem in Arizona, but in the United States, there's legislation out of New Orleans right now, but many families with disabled children, although there are schools now that do take in children, the fact is many federal complaints, people are complaining, but the laws aren't being enforced, where, as you all know, all children are supposed to have an equal representation. So again, with high due respect to the differing opinions of the people here and there, I just think that you believe in privatization, I believe in democracy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Linda Hoffman is next, followed by Veronica Gatling.
Good afternoon, and thank you for your time. I'm not generally a nervous public speaker, but I'm so passionate about this school. I'm Linda Hoffman, and I'm the principal and superintendent. I have some notes that I'd like to speak on, but I would like to first address the gentleman before us that we actually have a Down syndrome child in our school, and we do serve special needs students. We are seeking approval today for this bond because we want to fulfill our goals. Right now, we lease a very small campus at a very high rate, and we are burgeoning, full, bursting at the seams. We have no room to grow, no room to add any place, and we really live at the whim of the landlords if they want to continue up with our lease or not. To be able to take a campus where we can double our population and love on these children and nurture them, provide a great education for them, it would be a dream come true. It would be a legacy that would follow us for years, far after I'm gone. We don't want the school to disappear when the people who are, would Freedom Academy stand for just a second? These are my people. And they're all committed. We have passionate, dedicated teachers and parents who are here with us today who work together as a team, as a unit, to make sure that we educate our children. We've been an A-rated school for our charter's been in existence for 7 years, but we've been Freedom Academy for 13, and we've been an A-rated school for the majority of that time. And we also were noted by the Special Education Services as one of the top 20 schools in the state to consistently have annual growth with the bottom 25% of our kids. We really work to know every single child. So Councilman Waring asked me today about safety when we met briefly. Safety as it would deal with traffic with the school. This is an existing school that we would be purchasing. Traffic patterns have already been well established and have had no issues for the last 3 to 4 years. We would continue to work with the city if they wanted us to make adjustments, but they have a really good traffic flow into a quiet residential neighborhood. So my plea to you today is to please grant this bond for us.
Can I ask you a quick question? Sure. We have a great Safe Routes to School program and great resources to help schools. Have you had a chance to talk to our folks at the city about traffic safety?
I have not, and that was the suggestion made to me today, and I will certainly follow up on that.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hoffman. Veronica Gatling, good to see you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing us to speak today. It is truly an honor to be here to speak on behalf of Freedom Academy. I am there by choice. I had the wonderful Mr. Meyer's son in my class, so he understands how passionate I am about education. I would not be at Freedom Academy if not by choice. And Freedom Academy is a wonderful school that is dedicated to educating students, but also loving them. And that is my passion above and beyond everything else. And Linda Hoffman's vision for our school, to grow our school, to make our school a place where kids can come and not be on a waiting list, but be able to be accepted freely and take that stress off of parents. We need a bigger campus. This is our opportunity to do it, and we pray that you grant us that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mark Veit, followed by Angel Bishop.
Mr. Mayor and council members, thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of Freedom Academy. I'm here today to tell you what you've already heard, but even more as a board member and director of special education, that this is one phenomenal school that believes in free and appropriate public education for all children. And that sums up what freedom truly is about, knowing every child's name, meeting with every family, endless hours. The teachers are committed, the entire staff is focused, and we've been an A-rated school serving all children, and I want and hope that you'll take this in consideration for our bond today. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you very much. Angel Bishop, and then Terry Warren, and then Mr. Zuckerman.
Good afternoon. Thanks for allowing us to speak today. My name's Angel Bishop, and I met Mrs. Hoffman when I was 13 years old, when she began teaching and pouring into me, which was not that long ago. So, and now I'm a parent of 3 kids who currently attend Freedom Academy, 2 who were adopted out of foster care with severe learning disabilities, and now are flourishing in the school. And we have 1 more that will be adding this kindergarten next year. Our school may be small in size compared to these other public schools, but what we lack in size, we have in heart. Every child that comes through our doors is not seen as another number, but as an individual with goals and dreams. And I've never seen anyone look at these kids like these teachers do and begin to recognize the potential and dreams and individuality of each child and pull that out of them. Potential that sometimes we as parents or people just seeing kids don't recognize. I've seen the teachers embrace them and do that. They pull children who are struggling inside and speak life into them, words of affirmation, a lot of stuff that they wouldn't get in a larger environment. And kids who do have special needs or who are struggling or just everyday children need that, because we get so busy and caught up that we forget the important things and forget to remind them how great they are and their gifts and their potential and for them to dream. Because of this and because of the practices that Freedom Academy has, we are bursting at the seams. Like you've heard today, we do cater and help special needs children. And a lot of our tutoring and the one-on-one that goes into the special needs is done in shared offices, shared by administrative staff, shared with our principal's office, shared with the front office. These children are learning everywhere. Outside, it's not conducive for their learning, but they're making it happen and they are flourishing. And so imagine what we could do in a space where we could reach that much more children. And I can't even imagine the progress that they would make being able to do that. So thank you.
Thank you very much for coming down. Terry Warren? Pass. But in favor of the item, it'll reflect for the record. Mr. Zuckerman, did you provide testimony on this item?
Yes, I wanted to say that it's a good idea about this bill, but a lot more needs to be done. And that is to get out of this Common Core stuff, because this whole idea about federalizing the curriculum is just dumbing everyone down. It's not preparing them for adulthood. The original intention
Mr. Zuckerman, the agenda item that you have to provide testimony on is the proposal to issue industrial development bonds to Freedom Academy. And so I appreciate there's a hot debate about Common Core, but the item that's not the item on the agenda. And by law, you have to state that item.
Yes, I support that as long as they bring in naturopathic doctors for these autistic people to utilize naturopathic remedies like turmeric and all sorts. They have all sorts of things like Dr. Joel Wallach, Wallach, says he can bring autistic children. He could do it very well with using naturopathic medicine, not the pharmaceutical industry.
Do you support the item? Are you here and testifying in support of the IDA bonds for this school?
Yes, supporting the school, but to improve upon it in addition, to make it more valuable, and that is we got to get out of Common Core and teach them the real history. Use organic foods only at the school if they're going to feed them food. And
so your support is you support the IDA item, but only if they get out of Common Core and provide naturopathic services to the students. Thank you very much for your testimony. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming down.
JohnTaylorGatto.com talks about the history of public school. He says it was never intended to educate. It was intended to create subservient to the government kids. We need to bring in the real history that the pharmaceutical industry began with the Nazis, and they used us as experiments, and it seems all
right, so Mr. Zuckerman, your testimony is done. Thank you very much. We have others in favor not wishing to speak. Sarah Ackley is in favor of the proposal. Jennifer Convolcon, I apologize. Maggie Hoffman is in favor of the item. Lori Maddox, Jordan Wapa, Rachel Taylor, Michael Wapa, Kristen Friend, Dennis Hoekstra, Tammy McCarthy. Is anyone in the audience in addition wish to speak on item number 67 on today's agenda? Okay, any comments from members of this council? Roll call. Oh, Councilman, please, go ahead.
Just really quick, though, too, just want to make sure that I think it's fantastic that all of you are here today, because decision makers need to know and see the faces behind the families that are in these charter schools. The charter school movement's always been controversial, and it's going to continue to be. And the IDA funding has been a critical component for the success of the charter school movement. And I'm going to be happily supporting this, Mayor. I think it's fantastic for the city of Phoenix. We've done a very good job in funding that, but I think it's very important that every time that we do this, that the public and everybody, the decision makers, get to see the faces behind these families. It's not just a number. It is literally a way of providing an opportunity for these children. And if we're going to compete in this new global economy, this is the same thing I talked about last time, but we've got new people in the audience today. We have got to we must allow individual choice for parents to make that right decision for their child. And I'm going to be strongly supporting this, and I want to thank everybody that came out today. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Any additional comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda, I have a potential conflict on, so I'm going to hand the item over to the Vice Mayor, and I will not be participating in this item.
Okay, item 68. Do we have,
Mayor, can I
items-
make a motion to approve?
We can entertain a motion before we get to the cards, sure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we have several cards here on 68. The first is Christy Lockwood. Followed by Eric Bashaw. I believe that's the, is Miss Lockwood here? Oh, okay.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and members of the council. My name is Christy Lockwood, and I'm a parent at Villa Montessori School. I'm a little bit nervous, so I've written everything down. Speaking as what the parents see from this school, first of all, the parent community is committed to the success of Villa because the teachers and the leadership have this amazing ability to offer an inspiring academic environment that also creates these self-confident, passionate, kind humans. And it sets the groundwork for this lifelong love of learning and curiosity in an atmosphere that's both nurturing and encourages independence and self-reliance. And Villa Montessori is really a place where the teachers have this genuine respect for their students, and they never underestimate their kids' abilities. The teachers also get to know each of their students on a deeply individual basis where they understand their interests, their learning styles, their personalities. So the teacher's effectiveness with each child is off the charts. They're also able to maintain in each student this level of enthusiasm for learning that continues all the way through school, and even in middle school when kids really need that passion for learning. And because of this individual guidance, and this is one of my favorite things, the individual guidance that each kid gets, they learn to accept and appreciate their own uniqueness. And this carries them throughout all those awkward stages in life. And then you have this environment where the younger children learn from the older ones, and this mentoring and interaction leads to a community of kids who value collaboration and respect, friendship, and they value each other's uniqueness. And really, this type of community mimics what we kind of want the world to be. So the other day, I was trying to figure something out, and my son, who used to be the kid with zero self-esteem, says, "Mom, you just have to believe in yourself. If you think you can do it, you can." And that really sums up Villa Montessori.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lockwood. Eric Bashaw. Mark in favor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time that you're giving us today. I have been with Villa for 23 years. My wife and I brought our first child to Villa Montessori in 1992, our second daughter in 1994. And in 95, we entered the charter realm. And this school became inclusive, not exclusive. We were a private school prior to 95. With me being involved with the school for 23 years, I have been an active parent and a board member and the board president, and now I'm actually serving on a variety of things for the school today. My daughters graduated, moved on to both Sunny Slope. Both of them went to Sunny Slope High School, flourished. And the eldest daughter graduated from NAU 2 years ago and is now a fully employed Phoenix tax-paying individual. And the second is flourishing at NAU as a junior. And both my wife and I both thank Villa Montessori for allowing them to flourish as unique children so they can be individuals of the world. And thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Margot O'Neill, marked in favor.
Members of the council, thank you for this opportunity to speak. I am the principal of Villa Montessori School. The bond proceeds that this transaction will allow us to receive will be used to refinance previous Phoenix IDA bonds issued in 2006 and an outstanding commercial loan, both of which were used to provide permanent classroom facilities for our students up through 6th grade. We currently lease classroom space for our 7th and 8th graders, which are in our middle school, at 2 separate churches. The cost savings from the refinance, plus the additional proceeds from this new transaction, will allow us to build classrooms for our middle school students on a property within a short distance from our main location. Approving this transaction will directly benefit our students in at least 4 ways. 1, it will allow us to design and construct classrooms that optimize the Montessori program for this age group. 2, it will allow us to have all 96 middle school students on one location. 3, it will allow for frequent collaboration among the middle school staff, thereby allowing for best practices and leading to good instruction. And 4, it will provide a stability of location for these 96 students. All of these, as I said, offer huge benefits to our students. We try to be good community members. Villa is celebrating its 50th anniversary year, which proves its stability and long-standing in the Phoenix community. We have collaborated with our neighbor, Camelback High School, located directly across the street. 4 years ago, I spoke with a principal at that time about starting a school within a school Montessori high school program and provided some advisement during its planning stages. That program is in its 3rd year. We are looking to do more collaboration with them in the future around gardening and hope to partner with them on some community garden projects. Our school has been an excelling or A-rated school for the 9 years that I have been principal of the school, and we were recently awarded the distinction of 2014 Charter School of the Year by the Arizona Charter School Association. We are also one of only 30 Arizona schools recognized as a high flyer by the Department of Ed for the success we've had with our special ed students. Thank you very much.
Would you
Thank you,
mind
Principal.
if I asked a couple questions? I am very interested in traffic safety around schools. And
Yes.
And was wondering if you would be willing, as you acquire new land, to meet with our traffic safety folks.
Absolutely, and we will cooperate and use all of the suggestions that they have for us. Absolutely.
And then we locally have a system called village planning committees that review many land use changes. Would you be willing to share with the Camelback East Village Planning Commission on a voluntary basis for information only what you're doing? And sometimes they have feedback that might help with future traffic problems or just working with the community.
Certainly. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have another question?
I have a question.
Principal Lynn.
Where are you building the one campus? Because I know where the 2 campuses are.
It's, do you know where Campbell and 28th Street is? There's a Mountain View Christian Church there. We would enter into a long-term ground lease with them and build there.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mark in favor, Connor Davis.
Good afternoon. I am a current 8th grader at Villa Montessori Middle School, and I have been asked to give my opinion on the building of this. Not only does Villa Montessori have excelling academics, also has unique aspects of the curriculum, such as the Model United Nations and the Heroic Journey. Both programs span over the entire year. The Heroic Journey year is a rite of passage curriculum where students have key experiences that challenge them to step outside of their comfort zones, as well as step into adulthood in a safe and dignified manner. In my opinion, what truly makes the Villa Montessori Middle School so great is the integration of the Heroic Journey elements, such as the personal challenge, Council of Elders, and the opportunity we had to write biographies for elderly residents. We also greatly value the idea of a community and being able to rely on each other while learning to respect each other for each other's differences. In the beginning of every year, students attend trips to Prescott where we form community agreements to abide throughout the course of the year. We also participate in activities that build trust and teach students to work effectively in a group as well as reflect individually. It is my hope that in the near future, students will be able to continue these activities in a school environment built and designed for learning, and the bond is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Tom Jankowski, marked in favor? But marked in favor for the record? Thank you, Mr. Jankowski. Jennifer Buxpen?
I will be brief. I'm in support of the proposal. I am a parent. I have 4 children, 2 graduates of Villa, 2 who are in school right now. All I can say is, just from being an employer and being a parent, I see 21st century transformational education in this program and touching all the cornerstones of the whole person. So, in favor. Thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, we have 2 cards for Jennifer. Okay. Marked in favor, Terry Warren. Okay, for the record, in favor. Thank you. Bless you. Leonard Clark, opposed. Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Council. My name is Leonard Clark, and I come here to say thank you. Thank you to the private schools in Arizona and the United States of America. I've always admired private schools because they didn't use public funding. They didn't use our tax dollars. And I want to thank the families and the success that they're having. I think that is great. But I think you have 2 roosters in the same hen house here. You have corporate charter schools and you have public schools. And the fact of the matter is, right now in the state of Arizona, we have so many loopholes. You have it where family members, and I'm not saying in particular this charter school, probably not, but what I am saying is family members, as reported by the Arizona Republic in a series of articles they did, stated that, for example, family members could sit on a board, non-procurement processes such as any public school district would have to do when they want to do something, or like when you do something, they don't always have to be held up to the same standards. The owners being able to buy if they stop their business, they end their business, and if they don't owe others money, they get this has become quite a scandal, use that property. But again, to me, it comes down to accountability. I know, and I'm not saying this school in particular, but I don't see any accountability. I don't see any good statistics. I don't see any enforcement in Arizona. I don't see Governor Ducey or former Governor Brewer or anybody saying, hey, we've got to go see what are the rates. Are we following the federal inclusion laws for disabled students? And I know that they have several schools that do help autistic children, but for the great masses of parents that don't have that option, I believe that's a form of segregation, and therefore that's another reason that I'm against it. So again, if you want to have a private school and you want to fund it privately, God bless you. But when you want to use my tax dollars and you want to have all these loopholes, I think it's wrong, and I think it's a form of segregation, and I need accountability. In the Army, we had a saying, in God we trust, all others sign here. So you can tell me all you want, how inclusive you are, how you help disabled children, but I need it to be backed up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And lastly, Roger Lauer? Lohr. And you can let us know if you're in favor or opposed. It's not marked, sir.
I am in favor of the project. My name is Pastor Roger Lohr. I'm from Mountain View Christian Church. Thank you, City Council, for the chance to hear us today. I live, I work, and I volunteer all within Councilman DeCicio's district. I graduated from Camelback High School, 245 yards from where I live today. This has been my home for 23 years. Out of the 26 I've been here in this neighborhood. I've known Villa Montessori for quite some time. When I started as a youth minister at this church, I kept getting these weird children coming through who were self-confident, who could do something like speak at a city council meeting in 8th grade. And I realized that this was the place I wanted my kids to go to school, and so they do. I have sent my 2 oldest kids through, and my youngest starts next year at Villa. Many of my congregants live in the neighborhood, and quite a few of them have also sent their kids through the Villa program. And Villa has actually been on our property before in the 1990s through 2000, renting classroom space from us. We have a long-term relationship with them. Schools and churches work well together when it comes to sharing property. They need space on weekdays. We need nights and weekends. What better use of the space to make sure that it's active in the community and not just sitting there? Our goal is to be a community center for people's spiritual needs, but also for things like election voting, health fairs, and benevolence assistance to those in need.
Their goal as a school is to provide well-rounded education to train future leaders, and also to make sure that these children can be useful, active children today, even while they're young. All of this works together to make a symbiotic relationship that works very well. Councilwoman Gallego, you asked about traffic safety. When Villa talked to us, one of the questions that they asked about was that very thing. We have 2 large parking lots that our church has, one on each side of us. One they want to build in, but the other larger one, we have talked about making arrangements for their car line to be contained within our parking lot to make sure that the kids can get to and from class without being on city streets. I urge you to vote yes in support of Villa Montessori's bond project. Phoenix is definitely made stronger by Villa Montessori, by Margot O'Neill and her team. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. No further cards. I'll turn it over to my colleagues. Councilman DeCiccio.
Thank you. And Pastor, thank you for doing the Lord's work in the district. Appreciate it. And for those of you that are part of the Montessori system, I remember working with your school back in the 90s. I can't remember Jerry's last name. He was the original owner. What's Jerry's last name, if you could mention? Is he still around or no? He's passed away. Oh, no, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Jerry was a really good guy. But I was really involved with your school when it started going through the struggles of getting started. I remember back in the 90s how hard it was, and I'm just so glad and so proud to see how far you flourished, that you're now looking to expand out. You know what's interesting about today, though, too, is that we've got 3 different schools that are looking for the IDA funding, 3 different models, 3 different levels of choice for parents to make the decisions for their own children. And I think that's just a beautiful thing where parents can make that decision of where they think that's best for their children to be able to go. We've got one that's traditional, one's Montessori. My children went to a Montessori school in the Ahwatukee area for about 2 years. And they did really well there, and great school, fantastic. But we were given that choice to be able to do that as parents. So again, this goes back to it. I think it's real important that parents show up. It's going to be more, things are, as people start making more and more choices in the charter school movement, it's going to be even more difficult, and these things become even harder. It just is. So I'm glad that you're here today. I think it's fantastic that you've done so well in the district, and I appreciate all the work that you do. Pastor, thank you for everything that you do out there as well. I'm going to be supporting this strongly. Thank you, Mayor, or Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments, questions? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes. Motion passes 7, right? 7-0. Okay, item 69. We have a motion for item 69.
Move approval.
Hand it over to you, Mayor. I'll second.
We have motion and second on item number 69. We have many cards in favor of item number 69, proposed issuance of IDA bonds for Athlos Traditional Academy. First will be Jake Caprosi. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Jake Caprosi. I work for Veritas and represent Legacy. I'm honored to do so and honored to be here. As we get started, I would also commend you on a very efficient meeting today. Thank you very much for that. And as we get started, with your permission, if I might recognize those folks who are here with Legacy in support of today's agenda item and ask them to stand.
Thank you for attending.
Here just to provide a little bit of context as well. I've been in education policy since 1998 and have been working quite a bit with education reform. Over those years, I've worked with an extraordinary number of charter schools. In fact, some of the folks who have been here today as well. But I'm particularly honored to work with Legacy as they seek to expand what has been an extraordinarily successful model, not just in Maricopa County, but across the state. And this will allow them to continue doing that. They have a unique model that operates traditionally larger schools with a very traditional curriculum, and the reward for the work that they've been doing has been A-rated at all of those schools, and strong community support. This motion, or this item that's on the agenda today, will only serve to assist them in supporting those classrooms and supporting those students. I do want to take just a second to address some of the realities around charter schools. And I think Legacy is a great example of the kind of service that these schools serve to their communities, to students with special needs, and to all the students that come to their door. Charter schools are, in fact, public schools required to take every student that comes to their door. And the accountability that falls on charter schools is immense. And in fact, the accountability for charter schools is the serious risk of closure. So I'll let other people here talk about the success that they've had with their families and others. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Caprosi. Teresa Tate, did you wish to provide testimony on this item, followed by Centria Ewings?
Hi, I'm Teresa Tate. I'm here as a representative of Legacy. We had several letters come in from elected officials that we brought packets for the council, if we can pass those on.
We will, please.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'll just read one of them.
Thank you.
And this is from Representative Mark Cardenas from Legislative District 19. Mayor Stanton and members of the Phoenix City Council, as a Democrat, public education is my highest priority. I am confident you join me in agreeing that a quality education is the surest path to the American dream. With that in mind, I write in support of Legacy Traditional Schools' request for bonding via the Phoenix IDA. In recent months, I was honored to tour one of the Legacy campuses and visit its administrators. These are impressive public schools, and they are making a positive impact upon the communities in which they reside, including my own in Avondale. We need more great public schools in Metro Phoenix. That's why I encourage you to support Legacy Traditional Schools and its bonding request with the Phoenix IDA. Thank you for your consideration. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the time to come down. Next will be Centria Ewings, followed by Sam Anderson.
Mayor, council, and staff, my name is Centria Ewings, and I am here today in support of Legacy Traditional Schools. I'm one of the newer Legacy parents. My son started in December at Athlos Traditional Academy over in Chandler. And just today, actually, I was in his class. He was giving his poem recitation, and so excited to stand up and be so full of confidence doing his recitation. I come from a family full of educational, just a lineage in Ohio, and so coming to Arizona, it was important to find a school that my child would flourish in, and I found that the minute I stepped foot on Legacy Traditional Schools, the Athlos campus. My student, just like I said, got in December. Prior to that, he did not want to go to school. I would wake him up, and he just was, "Mommy, I don't want to go to school, please not today." But his first day after being at Legacy, he ended up waking me up stating, "Mommy, it's time for my new school. Let's go, please, let's hurry up." And it's just that overnight change is part of the dynamicism that is at Legacy. And it is a caring environment with just the right of classroom structure and passionate instructors, all working to breed a certain strength, character, and just that yearning to learn that I see in each of the children. And I am just so grateful for the Legacy model of patriotism and also just building character in the students. You see that, like I mentioned, day one, it was just an overnight change. I can find solace dropping him off at school, knowing that he is being academically challenged. He is in a dynamic environment. He is safe, happy, and thriving. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ewings. Sam Anderson is next, followed by Allison Voiles.
Hello, I'm Sam Anderson. I reside in the Maricopa Legacy District. This school is amazing. Honestly, the teachers are phenomenal, and being a special ed kid, you know, Miss Johnson, she's not here right now, but she gives me a challenge every day while still helping me with the advanced curriculum. Not once have I ever been bullied in this school. Not once have I ever been picked on. It gives me a safe, regular, just good learning environment. I highly recommend it for anybody to go to this Legacy District. I find it a phenomenal school and a good learning environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam. Excellent job. Somebody give that child some extra credit.
All right.
Allison Voiles is next.
And Mayor, just for that child though too, your mom and dad must be very proud of you. That was an excellent job you did up here. Thank you.
Allison Voiles, and then followed by Corey Kennedy, and then Jennifer Hackett.
Hi, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Allison Voiles, and I live in Maricopa, Arizona. I'm an 8th grade student at Legacy Traditional School, Maricopa campus. I have been there for 7 years, since 2nd grade, and since then I have found many opportunities to push myself, not only academically, but also in character excellence. At Legacy, they push us to be the best that we can be, in school and out of school. In the classroom, my teachers do not only push me to strive for the bare minimum, they push all of us students to strive to go above and beyond. After school, for the elementary students, K through 6th grade, there are many opportunities for them in clubs and in student council for 4th through 6th grade. In junior high, we also have more opportunities like National Junior Honor Society, which I have been a member of, and student council, which I was elected student council president of also. I've also found opportunities in sports such as soccer and basketball, not this year, but in 7th grade and 6th grade. Overall, Legacy is an amazing school that I think does great in pushing all of us students to do the best that we possibly can and to prepare us for high school and for the life beyond. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job, President Voiles. Corey Kennedy is next, followed by Jennifer Hackett.
Good afternoon. It's my lot to follow those two very difficult acts to follow. As the CFO of Legacy Traditional Schools, I'd just like to make a couple of comments about the financial impact of these proposed bonds. As you know, the money for these proposed bonds is provided solely by investors in the marketplace, and the schools are duty-bound to repay every dollar of principal and interest, and must do so simply by running the best and most well-managed schools possible. We take seriously the obligation to be good stewards of the money borrowed through these bonds. 6 of our other schools, including one in Levine, already have similar bonds in place, and those schools have made every payment as scheduled and will continue to do so. About half of the money from these proposed bonds will be used by the Gilbert School to purchase its campus facilities, which were built in 2013 and are currently under lease to the school. The other half will be used by the Maricopa School to refinance its original bond debt from 2009, which carries an 8.5% interest rate. And we're expecting an interest rate on these proposed bonds of about 5%. So you can imagine the savings, which for these two schools total over $11 million over the next 20 years, which averages over $500,000 of savings each year. And every bit of those savings will stay in the schools and will be used to maintain and improve the campus facilities, hire the very best teachers, staff, and administrators, and pay them what they deserve, and build a rainy day fund to ensure financial stability long into the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy. Jennifer Hackett is next, and then followed by Paula Jensen.
Mayor and Phoenix City Council, my name is Jennifer Hackett, and I'm the principal of our school in Levine. Legacy Traditional School has a very diverse student body that is reflective of the community that we serve. Over 60% of our families in Levine identify themselves as being of minority status. We serve a direct need in the community. Parents choose Legacy for the high-quality educational experience that we offer. All students are held to the same academic standard, and we believe that every student can be a success story. Legacy values diversity and celebrates each student's unique experiences that they bring to the classroom. Students are taught to respect each other and recognize that perspectives other than their own challenge us to think critically. Legacy's diversity is also reflective in our staff and echoes that of our student body. Teachers and staff work to form relationships with students so that all students feel that they have a trusted adult to turn to and who has their best interests at heart. Legacy Levine has an established relationship within the community that contributes to our overall success. Stakeholders are encouraged to be part of the learning experience on campus, and we value volunteerism. Partnerships with local businesses also strengthen our ties within the community. Our schools is invested in the community, and we provide high-quality, free education to students in our area. We welcome and cherish all students, and we look forward to many more years of proven success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Principal Hackett. Paula Jensen is next, followed by Bill Bressler.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I am here on behalf of Legacy Traditional Schools and to talk specifically about safety. I have spent countless hours working with the administrators at the schools to ensure that all of our students are safe and that our policies and procedures are in place to consistently prepare our students for emergency situations that might take place and to ensure that our staff members are fully aware of any concerns that might be endangering our children in our schools. In consideration of time today, though, I'm specifically here to speak about a program that we put in place called DriveLine, and it was to address our traffic issues at our campus and to ensure that our students were safely within their classrooms and into their parents' cars in the most efficient way possible. DriveLine that we implemented several years ago is a program where when a parent pulls up onto our campus, they have a number, and one of our staff members will punch in this number into our system, and our students will remain in the classroom until the teacher sees their name come up on their computer. The child then will pack up their things and head out to the curb to be picked up by their parent. It ensured that our students were safely in their classrooms with their teachers until they were delivered to their parents in their cars. This has been a tremendous benefit to our program. You know, with our Arizona heat and with our monsoon storms that come on our campuses, it has been able to ensure that our students have the safety that they need until they are delivered properly to their parents in their classrooms or in their cars. So I just, on behalf of Legacy, we will continue as an administration to review those challenges that we have and make our policies and procedures even better.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman?
Can I ask you a question? Have the traffic and school safety folks in the two, Gilbert and Maricopa, have a chance to review your plans?
Yes, the administrators at our campuses.
The local government.
Yeah, the local government. We have had DriveLine in place for several years now. So this is just something that I am sharing with you about how we address our safety issues as it relates to DriveLine and our traffic issues and how we've been able to implement this plan.
Okay, so are you familiar with traffic studies in the area of these schools?
Yes, I am. Yes, we are.
Are the local officials in the communities familiar with what
yes,
you're
they
doing?
are.
And are they in support?
Yes, they are. Mm-hmm.
So the streets departments in the communities
in the
Gilbert and Maricopa. Thank you.
Yes, they are.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jensen.
Thank
Bill
you.
Bressler? Thank you very much. So noted. Terry Warren, did you want to provide testimony on this item? All right. And then Leonard Clark, you have new comments or comments of a similar nature to the other IDA-related items today?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Leonard Clark, and yes, as a matter of fact, I do believe I have a few other comments. I'm greatly concerned because in our charter, as you know, it does state that the City of Phoenix is liable for its debt. Now, I know that the legal fiction is out there, and nothing has happened significantly that I know of in legal jurisprudence dealing with bond failures from industrial development authorities, because they are a rather recent development over the last 30 or 40 years. My problem is, I know that the banks, I've sat in on the IDA meetings, and by the way, very nice people, very accommodating, and let you go in there. But I do notice that they do dealings with a lot of big bankers. And we are talking to the tune of almost $500 million. And by the way, I want to thank you, Mayor and Council. I mean, even though I don't disagree with you, I like that you really are on the same conservative page as your conservative colleagues when it comes to privatizing our schools. But the bankers We just had a bust in 2008 where a lot of mortgages were lost. Now, bankers are desperate for business. We always know, and a good banker wants to make interest. So the fact of the matter is, they're out there getting loans. And if you say, Leonard, these loans are nothing compared to what's going on in the banking industry, no, we're talking in Arizona and across the country, billions and billions of dollars. So there is a lot of money being made. I don't think that we are really looking at the ramifications of what is going on. And I would have to say, every time I hear this argument, no tax dollars are involved, that is not true. Not true. Because whenever you take and issue out bonds tax-free, those are taxes that otherwise, if the bonds had not been tax-free, would have gone into the public coffers. And then therefore, those tax dollars that should have been in our public coffers but were given out to a private corporation in this whole effort to privatize by this Koch brothers, by this Bill Gates, no offense to our council person that's on but the big guy, our guy's a good guy too, Microsoft, but you get the meaning. So anyways, I still philosophically disagree with you. I know you consciously believe in what you're doing, but you're for privatizing our schools. I'm for keeping them public. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark, and let me be absolutely clear that in our world, he is the big Bill Gates, the guy that sits on our, all right. All right, so we have additional...
Thank you, Mayor, I appreciate it.
Oh, you're on the line. All right, good, you heard that.
Yes.
Opposed to the item, Louis Schmidt. Opposed to the item, Marshall Pimentel. In favor of the proposal, not wishing to speak, Chris Brooks, Nicole Mangum, Jennifer Hackett, I think did speak, but D. Benson Wallace, Brandon Jones, William Gregory, Sherry Anderson, Todd Rash, Renata Octavia Hunter, James Cottom, Renell Wilborn, Jody Ivy, Valerie Merrill, Marie Wilson, Rana Azars, and Lorna Romero. Did anybody else wish to provide testimony on this item on our agenda? All right, with that, we have a motion in favor. We have a second. Additional comments?
I have a question for staff.
Please, of course.
So these are in other communities, and I think it's important that we respect local control. Are the elected officials of Gilbert and Maricopa in support?
Mayor, Councilman Gallego, I will defer to the applicant on that subject, whichever can speak to the topic.
Mr. Mayor, yes, they are in support.
Okay, just state your name for the record, too, just so we have it.
Bill Bressler. I'm a resident of Chandler, Arizona, but don't hold that against me.
All right, so your representation today is you believe that the officials in the other communities are in
Yes,
support.
I'm the Chief Academic Officer for Legacy Traditional Schools, representing 9,000 students and 9 campuses throughout the state of Arizona, including one in Phoenix.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? Okay, any additional questions, members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes. Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. We now have the new business items on the agenda. Vice Mayor, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve items 70, 71, 72, 73.
You have a motion, we have a second. Any cards or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Passes unanimously. There be no further business before this council. This meeting is now adjourned, and there are no additional citizen request comment cards. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
And little teeny little hints here and there of the old Beefeaters.
And it's great to have these booths. I had a chance to actually talk with Jay Newton before his passing in 2006, and